Well, the market is going to shit yet again. ETH broke below 1100. We got BTC under 16,000. Every coin is going down the toilet at the moment. We're going to talk about all of that and more on today's show. Before we get going, please like the stream, subscribe to our channel. Nothing we say today is financial advice. We're just two guys who like crypto, and we're going to be talking about the market. Kevin, it's things got real red in a hurry. What are you seeing on the charts today?
Yeah, within like the last 2 hours, I think we just saw a ton of selling pressure. I mean, for a while there was a lot of support that we saw. People were just buying what others were selling, but it seems like as of right now, selling pressure is too strong. A little bit of buying right now, but I think we're not out of the woods in terms of what we're seeing with the selling today.
Yeah, on the ETH side, we saw, I believe it was yesterday or maybe Saturday, the FTX hacker, which we've discussed previously, started swapping ETH over to BTC. How much of what we're seeing now do you think is related to that?
I really don't think it's that much. Again, that's one wallet. I think there's multiple wallets that are doing very similar things right now like that. This is what I would call distribution. That's pretty much when certain people are selling to retail investors and, they're just buying their bags and allowing them to get out of the market. So that's what I think we're seeing right now.
Okay. Yeah. It's for the most part, it's Thanksgiving in the United States. It's a pretty slow week. Stock market's going to be closed Thursday. It's going to have a half a day on Friday, closing at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we don't have a whole lot from a macro standpoint in regards to earnings reports and, reports from the Fed this week. We had the FOMC minutes from their most recent meeting coming out on Wednesday. So we've heard some talk from some of the other Fed chairs about getting away from the 75 basis point hikes, getting over to 55. We've seen quite a few larger institutions set their target interest rate at 5 to 5.25%. So, from that standpoint, nothing too crazy, but with the continued absolute destruction of the crypto market, concerns over Grayscale and, what's happening with their reserves. There was some information put out today from Coinbase custody that all of Grayscale's reserves are fully available right now. Nothing wrong there. So that may have eased the market a little bit. But, what are you looking at this week in the macro side of things, Kevin?
Yeah. So number one thing I'm looking at is the DXY. That's the DXY was pumping a little bit earlier today, but it hasn't really moved too much. And I'm going to actually share my screen now. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, the DXY earlier today, it was pumping a little bit. It was up about a point. And as of right now, it's about 0.76% up. Let's see. There we go. Got it?
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, so we saw what was trading in this channel right here. This on the daily, it was going down. This is what would be a bull flag. And as we about the DXY, whenever it goes up, crypto assets go down. So inflation data came out, broke right through this channel. It's kind of like a fake out, comes down here to the 200 EMA on the daily, and it bounces right off of it. That's why this white line was here. This was our projected once this red line failed. And it bounced right off of it. That now because we don't need it. And now it's coming up. And as we can see on the daily, there's a lot of momentum to the upside. There's still tons of space to move with the stochastic RSI. And let's go to the weekly. The weekly is completely undervalued. So it's like oversold, undervalued. And I wouldn't be surprised if this makes another run. We get a double top maybe at 114. Or if it continues on this, like in the next few weeks, we could potentially top out somewhere around 120, 122. And that's the one thing I'm really looking at because the price, as we've seen right now, nothing is correlated to the DXY pumping today. Like this is very little for what we're seeing in the market. So I would anticipate that there's going to be further blood the more that this pumps.
What usually, leads to these large pumps in the DXY?
Inflation data coming back positive. So if we get another CPI data report and it shows that inflation's coming down, or inflation's going up, then we're gonna start to see a pump. But a lot of it just has to come with where things are. So let's say unemployment comes back or anything like that with the Fed, that's not good for inflation. The dollar is going to continue to rise. So I don't think inflation's over completely, but once it does, we start seeing maybe not exactly the data that we want, this could easily just keep pumping. I also just think technically there's plenty of room for it to go one last leg up, and then we start to see risk assets, the DXY swap. So risk assets go up while the DXY begins to plummet.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing risk assets today not having a good day. NASDAQ down 100. The Tesla is getting its shit kicked in right now, down about 6.5% as of this moment. I'm not exactly sure why. Not surprisingly, Coinbase is down almost 10% on the day. So yeah. It's ugly out there. You see Meta at about 110, which is still up considerably from when Jim Cramer cried on TV. So, old Jimbo is always a good bottom signal to counter trade. So what else do we have going on, from a price action, TA standpoint? What are you looking at with, Bitcoin, ETH? We have, Matic, everything else, is on the way down. What are you looking at? Let's go chart by chart here.
Wonderful. Let's start with BTC because that's the king of them all. So if we go on the daily, we're going to pull up something that I was looking at. As we can see, this very similar to what we were looking at with the DXY. This is a bear flag. So people were kind of getting bullish, and then instantly, boom, this was the FTX debacle, fallout all the way. We made the low at somewhere around 15.6K. And then started trading in this channel right here. You can actually see this is a bear pennant again. So it went from a bear flag to a bear pennant. These things tend to break to the downside always to their continuation patterns. So I was trading in this channel, broke out, kind of a fake out, came right back down, and that's right where we're currently at. We're at 15.75K. We didn't necessarily make new lows on that move down today. That actually stopped like $2 short of hitting the low on November 9th. But as of right now, we see that it's breaking down. Let's go to the weekly close last night.
We do have a question that I wanted to bring up on the screen. So do you happen to know, I'm going to try to look it up here, how much ETH the hacker has from, let's see, it looks like they're moving it in chunks of 15,000. Another 200,000 Ethereum as of 3 hours ago was just moved from that wallet. So there's still quite a bit left. For me, when I see this, I just view it as a really good buying opportunity as they dump their ETH. Like, I'm not expecting ETH to go away. So if they want to dump their ETH and give me a better entry point, I'll take them up on that.
Yeah, honestly, it's just opportunity. I mean, the price is going there regardless, so it's just coming here a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And then if we're looking at the weekly on Bitcoin, it was closed last night right up here, and it's closed out of this channel, again, comes straight back down, and the stochastic RSI shows that it is coming down towards the oversold area. Not completely oversold yet. We still have to probably maybe another week or two until we're maybe bottoming out over here. But this can honestly stay oversold for a period of time. And I just want to check one thing real quick because I was looking at this back with the historical data. When we look at exactly what this is, this was the collapse back in November of 2018 when we started making the bear market bottom for 2018. And then we saw this ranging sideways. So it was like 16 weeks or something like that where Bitcoin just traded sideways completely before we saw this pump right here on the close of April 1st, 2019. And that's something I'm looking for in the charts. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen soon, but once we hit the levels I think we're going to hit, I wouldn't be too surprised if we trade sideways for a while. And 16 weeks is 4 months, and 4 months out from right here would be the end of Q1 2023. So that kind of lines up with what you and me always say, like Q1 might look a little bit bloody, but then afterwards it might start to get better. So it's
that also lines up with what we discussed as far as the Fed's rate decisions, right? They're probably going to raise 50 points this month. There's no January Fed meeting, but there is one February 1st, and they'll probably raise another 50 points. And I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of pause rate hikes in Q2, so right around that 16-week mark. And that could definitely be a chance where, if they announce that they're not raising anymore, that could be an indication that, like, hey, they're going to pivot in the coming months. Maybe that instills enough confidence. So I guess that timeline, not that this is going to be perfect by any means, but that does make sense.
Yeah, it's just something to look at. Again, we've seen a lot of historical data get broken this year, especially with Bitcoin and its lows. But that was something I was looking at the charts and found pretty interesting. And the only thing else I have left to say about Bitcoin is that we are pretty oversold on the daily, the hourly. As we can see, it'll stay down here maybe for a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a push to the upside. Do I think it'll be significant? Probably not. I mean, this could honestly just go straight down and then maybe hit here, and then all the charts are lined up, they're all oversold, and it just begins to slowly creep its way up or trade sideways for a little bit. But as of right now, there is the possibility that it could pump. We see that it did bounce off that low right here. It's currently at about $200 higher than where the low was on November 9th. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, let's look at ETH now. I know that's where everyone's, a lot of attention is being paid due to this hacker who I wish would just get rid of their ETH now and just move on and let us bottom out there. Because I think that could be, I don't know if that's going to be mark the local bottom, but it's certainly going to help get us closer to it.
Right. And this is very similar. Again, I don't know how accurate this is, but this could be a bull flag in some way, maybe on the 4-hourly, but I don't necessarily like that in terms of the price going down lower. Do I think it is? Most likely not, but I just wanted to point that out, that we are trending this way, and the stochastic RSI is pretty oversold, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a little bit of a pump in these markets. Again, very minuscule. I think that the target is way lower. But if we do look at the weekly close from last night, we still have some room to the downside. The main support that I'm looking at is this one right here. This is at $877. That would be the low from June 18th, I believe. And that would mean that we are retesting those lows. I do not think that will hold at all. I think there's historical support further down here. And one that I was pointing out a while back in September for my personal use was 1636. Right here, there's just, it found, let's see if I can find it back here. Right there, it came up, bounced off that, straight up. That serves as support for in the bull run. And I believe there's one in the bear market where, came up here, tested, then got rejected right there. So there is support on this line right here. I wouldn't be surprised if it does go down there in a wick and we bounce off of it. But I do think between $740 and $636 could be a really good range to accumulate. As for the short term, let's just look real quick. So 4-hourly, we're continuing to trade sideways. Again, this could be just another crab pattern which breaks to the downside. But again, I never count out the fact that this could potentially just push up. We're gonna have to watch the DXY and correlation with a lot of these coins to make sure we're making the right decisions.
Okay, what do you want to get into next? Let's go into Matic right now.
Wonderful, got it pulled up. All right, so main thing I was looking at Matic for a while was this huge bear flag. It was just continuing going up. And it actually began down here, which would have been June 18th. And that was the bear market bottom for a lot of coins until recent. But it just began trading in this range. And this is a really big bear flag. Like, it never broke it until recently with the FTX debacle. So let's see, we're currently at 78 cents, almost 79 cents. And we were trading, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like a little bit over a week ago at $1.29, almost $1.30. So that's pretty impressive of a drop. That's what, 50-cent drop. And I'm not convinced that the bear market bottom was put in down here. I think that could just be me looking at this pattern and saying it doesn't make sense when Bitcoin didn't put in its bottom until recently. Current bottom, I still believe that's going to go down. But it broke out of this channel, and we see it's oversold on the daily. But if we look at the weekly, that's the one that's kind of scary. The weekly has a ton of room to the downside. So I think it's going to test some of these levels of support. This range seems like pretty good support. Might hit 64 cents, drop down to 40 cents. And I definitely think it'll double bottom this at 29 cents. But I think the support here, as we see, it's kind of small. Right here at, stupid thing pops up. Right here on February 2021, there was support right at this level. I believe that's going to be the one where it's going to work down to. Again, it could just double bottom, but I do think it's going to put in a lower low at some point.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a big Matic believer. So if it keeps going down, I'm just going to keep buying it because I think we're going to see, I wouldn't be surprised to see $3 Matic in the not too. I'm not expecting it anytime soon, but I think if you can get it at 30 cents, if you can get it at 50 cents, that's going to be long run a nice return.
Yeah, that first pump when the bull market begins, I think Matic's going to see a huge gain.
Yep. Yeah, Lord knows when that bull market is going to begin, but yeah, it'd be nice if it came sooner than later. So what else do you want to get into now? We still have Cardano, we still have Link, Solana. You choose. Tell me what next.
Let's go into Cardano just right now because that one actually put in a new low, I believe. Cardano was trading at earlier. Let's see, it was trading somewhere at 29.50, so it's 29.5 cents. That's the bear market bottom as of right now. As we can see on the weekly close, we closed beneath this support at 32 cents, 33 cents. It says white line right here. Stochastic RSI shows that it's coming down. The weekly, again, takes a week for this to move. So this could be oversold for some period of time, like from here to here. That's probably like 6 or 7 weeks. So we could see, while it's oversold, just continuing price decline. I'm still not convinced that, with this going down, that it's going to be just 25 cents. I've been seeing a lot of 25-cent predictions. It just doesn't make sense to me. I think we're still expecting anywhere between 40 and 60% for a lot of coins. I mean, if it drops to 25 cents, that's only a 17% drop. It doesn't make sense. I would anticipate somewhere between 40 and 50. So if we drop 40%, that's somewhere around 18.5 cents. That lines up with what our prediction is. And then on the lower end, let's say 15, I found a little bit of support at, that'd be 50%. So that range does offer some opportunity. Again, this would be like half off Cardano, but as of right now, it lost support on the weekly. I want to take a look at the monthly real quick. If we close beneath that, it's almost kind of, not saying it's guaranteed, but there's a really high chance that it's going to test these levels down here.
Okay.
4 hourly. Yep, just trading sideways. Again, that's something I'm going to watch with the DXY because DXY pumps and this thing's going to dump. So, and then do you want to check Link? And then that should be.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, are you going to be telling your family at Thanksgiving to buy crypto this year?
Oh no, I don't have a family, JWeb. They all hate me from the buy in the bull market. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't think my family is in the crypto as much as you and I are.
Yeah.
Let's see. Link, we're looking at the 4 hourly, broke out of this channel that this is also, man. We've seen tons of continuation patterns, and this is a massive one that we saw with Link. So this thing was just going up. Again, very similar to what we saw with Matic. It finally broke out. If we look at the weekly on this, we're still got plenty of room to come down to. We're at right here. So similar to Bitcoin halfway through. It's moved down on the weekly. We got to hit $5.31. We got to break that support for it to continue to go down further. Strong support right here around $4.48. I don't think that is necessarily a bad area. However, again, I've just been using the 40-60 rule, 40 to 60% for most altcoins to put in a bear market bottom. That would only be 20%. So some of my bids would be closer to maybe this 384, but I'm also not excluding the possibility that we could go down entirely 50% towards $2.92. That's just a possibility. It really depends if we do see some type of capitulation event or if the DXY just takes off and then we see some type of event that people just get scared and sell off like crazy.
Which, I mean, at this point, if you had to bet on if we're going to get good news or bad news in the crypto market next, you'd probably have to go ahead and put that bet on bad news.
Definitely. I won't say much about Solana because I've actually been thinking about this, but if there's any players who are currently using Solana as like collateral or anything like that, and they go under or Sol token just drops like crazy, I wouldn't be surprised if we see like another capitulation event or something similar to that nature.
Yeah. Are we going to round trip to the $3 sell me all your soul and then fuck off SBF moment? That would be pretty, that'd be a pretty wild storyline for the year.
We'll throw it in the thumbnail.
Oh man. Anything else you think is worth touching on right now? You know, it just seems like it's another week to, you know, if you're not in the market, just sit on your hands. Sounds like we have quite a few weeks of that ahead of us. And, you know, it's just a very volatile time to be trading if you're trying to go that route.
Absolutely. Like, again, I will say that we are oversold on a lot of the time frames. Personally, it's not worth it to me to get in, mainly because I'm just sticking with the targets that I've been watching for the longest. But I think that these continuation patterns are extremely dangerous. These are not patterns that you want to trade because you know where it's going, but you can get stopped out very easily. And yeah, I think we're in a distribution phase right now. So a lot of retail is buying what institutions are selling and the price continues to go down like we saw today. I don't think it's the end of it either.
Okay. Yeah, it's I mean, we're on it's a Black Friday sale at this point, Kevin. You know, that's how we're viewing crypto.
I'm excited to be bullish again. So if it wants to go 50% off from here, it'd be a great weekend.
Yeah, you just let me know when you're starting to feel bullish again, and I'll act accordingly.
Will do.
All right, man. I think that is going to wrap it for today. We'll be back next Monday unless something crazy happens. So, I mean, that's definitely possible. If something very insane happens in the market, Kevin and I will probably do a show on Friday. Otherwise, we'll be back on Monday. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please, once again, hit that like button if you haven't yet. It takes all of 4 seconds. Subscribe to our channel. Those things mean a lot to us. It helps us out a ton, and we really appreciate it. So for Kevin, I am Jeremy. We will see you next time, everybody. Have a very happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating it. And if you're watching the World Cup, go USA.
Happy Thanksgiving.